and non-binaries. How are you tonight?
Hopefully as good as us.
Wow.
If we were any better, we'd be pregnant.
This is episode 3 of ShadowCast Austin. I'm your host, Jeffrey with
Zoe Sol.
Daily South.
And Zephyrus Rex.
And we got married.
We got married.
Everyone does the rest. I'm like, hey.
Hey.
Oh, I can do like a little green man, little like dots, like googly eyes, and he's like the green thumb guy. Hey, how you doing?
Oh,
He's gonna be a new guy on our show soon.
Oh my god. Can we please do like...
segment?
Yeah, a little puppet segment.
Oh my
Hey,
God. Yes,
puppet
Yodi.
Zap.
Yes,
There
Yodi.
is, you do have puppet Zap.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We hope you all have been enjoying our shows. Thank you, Kaiju Labs, for getting us out there and everything. So, guys, we got tattoos!
We got tattoos!
I like
We
this.
did.
We
Sounds
did.
like-
I think we talked about last time that we each represent one of the different elements.
Yes.
Yes.
So we each got a tattoo to represent our element.
Air.
Fire.
Water.
Earth.
With our powers combined, we make
Magic.
Yes.
Magic.
Yeah.
We make heart.
Make heart.
Oh my gosh. I like it. So, we should talk about our colors, because I mean, like, or well, not the colors, like the elements, right?
Our elements. We should talk about our elements and the beautiful
Rub it in.
ritual that we did.
Yeah! I don't know what I'm doing with my foot, but this is happening.
You do that all
now.
the time. That always happens. It's weird.
Yeah, that toe point is something I haven't never seen before.
You're welcome. I'm not a dancer.
You were a ballerina in a past life.
Yeah.
Pause. I feel like I was.
I bet
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah, Black
You're
Swan.
commonly.
Except that
I
can't be
was-
true.
I was the what?
Because he knows exactly how many past lives he's had.
I do. 1, 2, 3.
So yeah, he knows.
Oh,
This is my 4th life.
wow.
Yeah, so
I
you
can
could
teach
have done
you
it
all.
in 4 lives.
Yes. What?
Mm-hmm. You could have done that in 4 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the
tries.
black. I
Four
was the
tries.
red, golden black
One of them you
swan.
gotta get
I was
right,
the
right?
black swan.
You were the black swan.
Back in the 1800s, before I got burned at the stake. I was kidding. I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. Hi! So,
Element. So tell us about your element, Mr. Jeffrey.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I mean, everyone knows I'm pretty much a green witch. I'm Earth. I represent Earth. Anything I touch, like my friends, like you guys have even said, just let Jeffrey stand in your garden and the plants will grow. No, legit, it really does happen. It's great. I just brought a whole bunch of plants over to your garden today after that monster came and murdered everything. But we don't want to talk about that because
We won't talk about that right now.
but no, I am. I relate with Earth really well. It just found. I love that we each have an element, and just like, oh hey, wait, what? But no, it's just like I love plants. I love life itself, and just like I was always a tree climber when I was a kid, and then like growing, getting older and such. It's just I really realized I'm more attuned to plants and earth and elements. Like I cry when I see a tree getting trimmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like legit cry. I just get actually really angry because I'm like, why? Are
My
you cutting
boyfriend
down
was
this
a tree.
Oh, your boyfriend was a tree.
I guess when I was 6, I had a boyfriend who was a tree.
Well,
What
and
was
I
his
did
name?
also.
Wait,
So
what?
I don't
funny.
remember.
Oh dear.
Mine was Malcolm.
Malcolm.
In the middle.
Nope, it was just
I
Malcolm.
don't think I gave him a human name. I think we spoke through
Through
telepathy.
wind noises.
Through wind noises. His name was.
Oh, I used to.
For Twitters.
But the fun thing is, I used to like dig holes in the ground and then as deep as I can, and then just get in there and just lay down and fall asleep on accident. And then hours later, I find out my parents are trying to look for me.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a little scary because they didn't know where I was. And I'm in the backyard in a 6-foot hole, sleeping.
Oh my gosh. So Earth.
Earth, yes, 6 feet under. There you go. What about you, Zoe?
Wow. My element is water, and I am definitely a water baby. I love
This woman, you can't get her out of the water.
Yeah.
Holy crap. She'll stay in an hour, like literally 10 hours, and she will not get out of the pool.
I love.
And if she gets out of the pool, it's only to get into the shower.
She's
Pretty
water,
much.
see?
Yeah.
Look, water.
It's water.
That's actually
It's
water and
bubbles. It's water and air.
It's water and air.
It's us.
Oh.
Bubbles.
We're bubbles together.
Yeah, no, okay.
Anyway. So yeah, no, I am water, and water basically represents emotion, intuition. Water is definitely something that I resonate with. I like to consider myself a little bit of a siren because I like to sing.
You a siren? No, not at all.
Know what you're talking about.
Plug your ears, boys and girls. You're just in for a real time. What? Sorry. I just went Father Blix there. I am
You
so
totally
sorry.
did. I was like, hi, Father Blix.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Am I schizophrenic?
Jeffrey, are you
Wait, and... Sorry.
I still don't have full use of my voice. So, in the meantime...
I don't know what that was, but...
Daily, tell us about fire.
Oh, okay.
Show us that warm passion. I don't... Embers and fire.
I'll show you.
Well...
Yes. So yeah, I'm fire, and I feel like fire generally symbolizes like emotion, love, passion, rage, just all
Rage.
the rage. Well, it does.
Like
Rage.
cat rapping.
That's right. We're gonna rage.
Rage! Sorry.
Just a lot of big emotions, a lot of explosive energy, and I feel like that's definitely me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Explosive?
Explosive.
No,
energy.
not at all.
I will come at you.
Put her out, put her out, put her out!
She
And
likes
Mr. Zab,
Yes.
you're air.
Yes, I am air.
Yes.
As you can see. So air represents intellect, wisdom, communication. Like sound waves, for instance, is the vibration of molecules in our atmosphere. So if you ever think about singing, music, talking even, sound, clapping, that's all communication, it's all air. And wisdom
If you
as
guys
well.
didn't know, he's a tech witch.
Oh,
He has
God.
a book on it.
Cyber witch.
A cyber witch.
Cyber
Thank
witch.
you, a cyber witch.
Yeah. Anyway, air.
I like it.
And that is air.
What about you, Yodi?
Yodi.
When's his birthday?
Actually, we don't know because we rescued him.
Mm.
So, but I don't know.
He's spirit.
He's a
He's the
Yeah.
spirit, representative of white light.
Yeah.
And,
As you
He's
can
like whatever
see.
gets me attention and food.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, we had a wonderful unity ritual yesterday
Oh, when you're
before we
shutting
got our
like crazy,
tattoos.
like all over me.
It's shutting everywhere. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Ah,
It's love. That's parenthood.
mhm.
And Zoe actually put the ritual together last minute, and it was wonderful.
That was really beautiful. I like how we lit the candles and then we passed them, and it was just like the transfer of energy just going boom, 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 boom. I was like,
Yeah.
and then when I got my candle back, I was like, what the fuck? What? I like it.
Yeah, I mean, basically the ritual that we did, for those of you that are curious, is we each took a votive candle and then we drew our symbol on there, our elemental symbol, and then we also added anything that we wanted to bring to the coven, and then we spoke aloud what we were bringing to the coven. So whatever gifts we wanted to bring to the coven, to strengthen the coven, and basically show our talents and our love for the group. And then we meditated on that, and then we passed the candles, and as we passed the candles, we got to feel the energy of the other person's, everybody's candle in the group. So, and not only feel the energy, but absorb it and receive it. So like the
We
gifts that
received
you,
all the gifts.
yeah, so we all received each other's gifts using the candle as the vehicle to do that. And so we passed the candles around until we got back to our own candle. And it was really cool feeling like the energy of your candle when you first started, and then the energy at the end when you got it back, having everybody else's energy influence it. Yeah, so if you ever want to do a group spell and really, have a spell that's going to kind of bind you all together and really create a bonding moment with you in a group, that's a great one to do.
it was a great one to do.
I enjoyed it. And we had one candle at the end that we lit.
Well, we poured
And it was
all of our
just-
wax from our candles.
Yes.
That represented Yodi.
Oh my god.
Because really, we're a cult, and we
Like the
worship
cult of
Yodi.
We were in the cult of Yodi. If you
We
want
are
to
the cult
join,
of Yodi.
just send dog treats.
Dog treats and $10,000 in your soul.
Yeah. Please attach some dog treats and a postage stamp to a $10,000 check and mail it to.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay.
But how could you not be
I know.
in the cult of Yodi?
Oh, and I got a puppy.
yeah!
Jeffrey got a new puppy.
His name is Donatello. He may be in a few episodes later on, but yeah,
He has to
I got
get his
puppy.
shots. Yeah, as soon as he gets all his vaccinations, he'll make an appearance.
Super excited. So anyways, so a lot of you have been, kind of writing out to us, and so this topic today is about tarot cards and what they mean to us and everything. So stay tuned for more content, but in the meantime, I think we have a video from Zoe.
We always have a video from Zoe. We have endless videos from Zoe.
Yes,
Zoe's
we do.
video.
Zoe's video! Stay tuned! Tuned!
Stuned. Stay stuned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chit chat.
I'm so stoned. I'm so
And
stoned.
there we go.
My songs are little bats, birds from magic and black. Invitations from my restless soul to undress me and see for once what lies beyond this mask of skin.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody!
Hi.
We hope you enjoyed that video by our beautiful Zoe. Make sure you follow her on YouTube at Zoe Sol.
Oh, thank
What do you think of that video, Jeffrey?
It was enchanting.
It was enchanting.
So
Aw.
enchanting that it's just...
Enchanting.
She's looking at me. I don't know what to say.
Too enchanted
Am I that
to speak.
intimidating?
No, maybe. I don't know. You have a nice
You better
butt.
answer.
You have a
You have a nice butt. You have a nice butt.
We were just talking about how amazing Zoe's videos are and how they're just great to put on just your playlist and just let play. You'll
Like
not
background
really-
noise and everything.
background noise, and you learn a lot while you're just sitting there listening to it.
Yes.
Thank you.
She's a
Thank
siren
you.
that can enchant and suck the soul of men with her lips.
With my lips.
We have to show that. Oh, we're gonna show that.
Yeah, it's
We'll show that video later,
it's
but yeah.
It's such a bad clip. It's
Anyways.
so we're gonna talk
Hello.
about both tarot and oracle cards
Yes.
and the difference between the two
Yeah.
and how to read them and all sorts of fun magical stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it's actually fun because like people always they always hear tarot cards, but when they're actually getting readings, they're actually might be getting more oracle cards versus
cards.
tarot. But the tarot, because of how movies are and everything, it's just a generic
It's kind of
source.
generic.
Yeah.
It's become a generic term for card readings in general.
I think I primarily use a lot more oracle cards than anything, but I
Yeah.
do use my.
use
I
yours
do have
sometimes.
I have like 3 decks are tarot that I rarely use now. But I always say tarot reading so people understand, because if I say oracle reading, people
They're
are
gonna be
like,
like,
they're thinking like, oh, is this
Is it an oracle?
Is it
Are
an
you
oracle?
the divine oracle?
Yes,
Yes.
I made that sunset oracle lady. Look, I can bend the spoon.
Oh.
We are in the Matrix now.
Anyway,
Oh, tea. I like tea.
Tea.
yeah, I just say
Oh, sorry.
we're having a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
We're floundering today.
Welcome to ShadowCast. Sorry. So
Anyways.
tarot cards. What do they mean to you, Zoe?
Should we call him as?
Yes.
I mean, it's not what they mean to me. It's more about like just what they are. But
Tarot.
Right. Yeah, it's like literally what they are because tarot has like a system behind it with like a major arcana and a minor arcana,
right?
and, like,
and they have the archetypes.
suits and like actually playing.
I like
cards suits. Oh, like swords.
Yeah.
Or
the pentacles, the
yeah,
wands,
pentacles.
And oracle cards are more open to
or
interpretation.
pentacles could be coins, depending. You know, like,
Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords.
Yeah.
King of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
King of
Yeah.
Cups. You know.
Yeah, if you have a deck of playing cards, you have tarot cards.
Yes.
Because like swords would be the spades.
Yeah, the spades.
Yeah.
The diamonds would be what, coins? The pentacles.
Yeah.
the diamonds. Yeah.
What else is there? Clubs.
Hearts.
Clubs is the wand, and then hearts is what's the heart? What am I missing?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know tarot, so I don't. Yeah, that's not a.
And it's
I
fun.
don't do tarot.
That's actually it's like I don't really.
We're definitely more of an oracle.
Yeah,
Oracle
company.
group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oracles are really cool because you don't have to dive in and
You see a picture
educate
and you go
yourself
with
with
it.
the system. It's like all interpretation and like
There's more freedom behind
intuition. Oh, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you
and
get
it's
to
like
know your deck.
really quick and beautiful.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's more of like a personal relationship with your deck and with the person.
Right. Yeah.
So we definitely prefer oracle cards. Yes. We have lots of different decks
Same
between
deck.
us.
We do.
Yep. And actually, funny enough, we have the same deck.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, but they have very different energy.
Yours is more faded.
Yeah, the colors are different.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's
the colors
weird.
are different.
But yeah, it's funny. It's like if I draw a card, I get
I get this one
the
so
crown.
often. I
Like,
used to, not so much anymore.
I can read this card and say it's this and this, and then Zoe can get the same exact card and she reads it completely differently,
Right.
which is really interesting. I really like this deck. This deck is from Brian Froud's Fairies.
Brian Froud.
Right. It's a really
Brian
good.
Froud.
Brian Froud.
Brian Froud.
Brian
Brian
Froud.
Froud.
Brian Froud.
Brian Froud.
Brian Froud.
Brian Froud. Hello.
Brian Froud.
Brian Froud.
We're talking to
Hello.
you.
This is like being Brian Froud.
Is he our Oracle Daddy?
He
Brian
might be our
Oracle Daddy.
Hi. But no, yeah, it's really interesting because like if you pick up my deck and then like you read it before and there's like you have such a hard time reading mine and then when I pick up yours I'm like it's like a wall. I am completely cut off. I know what this card means in my style, but when I read it to you, it's so weird. It's
We
Well,
cultivate-
it's sort
we
of like
cultivate
their
relationships.
it's like they each have their own little personality, and it's kind of like adopting a pet in a way, right? Like you get this little I'm using that because you're baby, but you get this little animal into your life, and like you have to get to know it. You have to get to know like what it likes, what it doesn't like. For example, when I first started. And I first got Heart of Fairy by Brian Froud.
Brian Froud.
This was actually the first deck that I got, and this one is very friendly. It likes.
I love that one.
It likes to work with other people, and this one, when I got it, was very like just wanted to work with me and only me, and very like not social at all.
It's an introverted card.
Very introverted, very introverted deck. And then only recently has it started to, well, I would say within the last year, has it allowed me to do readings for other people. But it's interesting because they have their energy and like some of their, like this energy is a little more spiky. Like it will kind of slap you in the face and tell you exactly what you need to hear, and then
bitch, get your shit together.
right, right. And then Heart of Fairy is more loving and nurturing.
Like, let me give you a hug to inspire you to get your shit together.
That's
there's this deck, the Golden Threads of Fate, and I got this one online, and it's weird. Like I'm not being drawn to read this at all lately. I've been doing just
that deck, by the way.
lately. I've just been doing.
The second you bought that deck, I started getting ads for it every day, and I was like,
I know, me too.
my God.
Yes.
That's why I was seeing it on my Facebook.
Yeah.
But I like it.
It's a
It's just
beautiful
like
deck.
we switch through so many decks. I mean, I have like 10 of them, and I only have 2 of them with me. But it's actually funny because like when I start doing like oracle readings or tarot readings, I always have a deck with me wherever I go now because people find out, oh, you do tarot readings? Like, yeah, I'll do one for you, and I usually do it for whatever, and people are like, dude, what? Like, have you ever had a moment to where you've done a reading for somebody and like literally they just like either A, start crying, like I did yesterday, sir? So his deck, oh my gosh, I got a card and that was like spot on and just broke down. And then we had a
It's a good deck. I want to play with yours more.
Cuddle
So pretty. You
thing.
can always play with mine more.
I will always play with you.
God. We cannot get through an episode without all kinds of innuendos.
Yes, this is what happens when you have a really tight-knit coven.
We're very tight.
And
there's a lot of tightness within us.
Yes.
Love each other.
Think of like a big giant, like a whole bunch of asteroids just collide with each other.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
crystal.
I was like, Jeffrey, no, don't say it. Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Anywho. On to.
And you, Yodi, would you like to say anything to the audience?
He's like, I just want to be involved, but like.
He's like, do you have any food?
Yeah.
Where are my dog treats? Where's my $10,000?
So,
and
Zoe,
your soul?
if someone were to come up to you and ask you, how in the heck do you read tarot oracle cards? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you read?
Yeah,
them? What would be your base answer for just like the beginner starting out?
So there are different ideas on this. I am of the idea and the belief that you should not get your own first deck, that you should allow it to be gifted to you. So that some people agree with that, some people don't, but I just think that there's something about that process where a deck will find you and it will come to you. When you're gifted your first deck, there is usually going to be a book that's going to come with it that's going to define the cards. That's a good starting point, but don't use that as a crutch forever. It's just a foundation so that you can guidelines. You can kind of get to know your cards. So when you first start reading, focus on reading yourself and pulling cards and learning what the cards are. And then once you feel like you got a feel for the cards using your book, set the book aside and then start getting to know the cards on your terms. So for example, this is how you and I got to reading the same deck very differently.
Yes.
Like we talk to our cards and the fairies that appear in our Brian Froud deck.
Brian Froud.
They have different energies and they talk, and so even though the write-up might say something, a new interpretation might come to light through me interacting with this card. The other thing to keep in mind too is that it's also contextual. So I might pull a card for you and it will have a different meaning in the scope of your reading than what it does for him.
Right.
So it's really about deep listening to like what the cards are saying and what the energy of the cards are saying. And so like the way that you build that up is really through gaining trust in your own intuition. And so again, using the book as a guide to start, but then from there, like go ahead and just start feeling into the energy, pulling the cards, looking at them, seeing what you see, and not without any judgment, just kind of saying aloud what you see. And start with your friends, like a small circle of people that aren't going to judge you or make fun of you or make you feel insecure.
Well, we might judge each other just a little bit.
Well, we like to judge each other, but it's all
fun.
in love.
It's all in love.
It's all in love.
I give us a 10.
I like it.
I
give us a... Oh, the Oakman.
Oh, that's a good
Give us the
card.
Oakman.
That's a good card.
Yay.
It's a good one. It's a good card.
It's a good one.
It's a hand
You know, it's
card.
actually funny. This is actually my very first deck that I got.
Daly's touching me.
Oh my. But no, this is actually my very first one I got, and then it was, I got this like years and years ago, and then it got stolen. Like every time I did tarot readings, I always used other people's, and never had my own. And I think I had this deck like maybe about 6 or 8 years ago, and then I had it for a couple of years, and then it just went missing, and I found out someone stole it.
Oh,
but
man.
that person, it maybe it was meant for them. And then later on,
Who would steal a tarot deck? That just sounds
That's
terrible.
so weird.
well, I don't know why, but that's on them. But yeah,
That's some karma.
but then I'm trying to remember who gave me this one. I feel so bad, but I got this one, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the same one I used to have, and I was super excited. And then like these guys like just called to me. I'm just like, yay, they're wonderful.
Yeah, and that's something that like because you have a lot of decks. And do you find that like
I've seen many.
Yes, I know. But do you find that they
Hi,
call
Jesus.
we are 13.
We are. So.
I was not like this at 13.
Actually, I wasn't either. I was
Like
not.
maybe like 16, 7, like 15.
I'm just yeah. So, anyways,
Men always are like that before women, I feel like.
yes.
Yeah, no, I have found that like I have multiple decks and then they kind of go in and out of phases.
Yeah.
Like one will be dormant for a while
Yep.
and then all of a sudden it just like wants to come out and play.
The
And
golden,
then,
so
it's
the
like
golden
they take
threads
turns.
I've been using, when I got this one, I was using it for
All the
like
time.
months, all the time. And then out of nowhere, I brought this one today, but it's just
It
not
doesn't
calling me at all.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's this deck out of nowhere. This is dormant for like 3 or 4 months, and now I'm like using it like crazy. And all my other ones I have, I really just don't use because they just don't call me. But there's one deck I will only use around Samhain, and there's another one I will only use around Winter Solstice. Like
Interesting,
certain
yeah.
ones I only use during certain holidays,
Wow.
and such like that, or certain ones I only use during seasons. So,
Yeah,
but
they have their seasons.
Yeah, the 3
That's
primary
what I was
that I do use is my Elemental deck, the Brian Froud one, and the Golden Threads of Fate.
Yeah.
Everything else is just certain times of the year. There's another one I could use, but it hasn't called to me yet, and I'm just waiting for the right time to use it, and I'll know when it is.
Yeah.
Right now, meh.
So interestingly enough, like when you were first teaching me to read, I don't know if you remember this, but I was intoxicated. But there's a purpose for this.
Well.
Because I get into my head so much, like I will second guess, I'll overthink, like I will like all that negative thoughts. But when I'm drinking, like I'm not thinking about all that. I'm just kind of saying whatever comes out. So she actually taught me to read my first deck when I was drinking, because then she was able to put the card down and be like, "What do you see?" And instead of being like,
Getting
you
so
know,
deep in your
overthinking,
mind.
I
Yeah.
just went bleh, and I just said what I saw, and I think that was like a really important lesson.
This episode is brought to you by alcohol.
Hey,
We're not saying
Without a label.
that was like,
label. We're not saying like drink and read
No,
the cards, but like
but-
you know when you're in
But
a
we're saying
comfortable,
drink.
yeah,
No.
yeah. I think we've all done like many intoxicated readings, and you know they're
They get
still very
intense.
spot on,
They
and they're
are.
a little scary sometimes. Like I've done readings, and people have literally they
feel
had
like-
to stop me halfway because they just start breaking.
yeah, I feel like they're a
crying.
little
I'm
bit more
I'm
like
so sorry.
chaotic when you don't have that barrier up anymore, when your filter goes away.
I mean, you pulled a few cards. Like I'll ask you guys like, hey, can you just pull a card for me? And they have no idea why. They pull a card for me. I'm like, oh god, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
So-
sure. Yeah, that's interesting because I actually can't read very well when I'm intoxicated. Like,
Really?
You've done a few readings for me, and they were great when you were.
Yeah,
when you were a
I
little
mean,
buzzy buzz.
I can a little buzzy buzz. I guess so, but I always feel like I need like I do better when I'm sober. I don't know. It just
You have a pretty like still mind, though. I feel like you you do compared to me.
wow.
Oh my.
Like you're not. I feel like when you see something, like you already know, like you're in it. You have your thoughts together. Like me, I'm like, well, I see this, but I might also see this, but I may also see this, but I don't actually notice it. But if I see that, is it a bad thing? I may not say that. Well, I might say it, but if I say it, it's gonna hurt somebody's feelings. But then,
Okay.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
That's
about.
what my
and
brain is
that's-
like all the time.
But I feel like that's just a matter of.
I want to live inside it.
you are that.
You-
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You guys
That's
are
me.
that.
Hi.
No, I mean that's like a very common
You're
thing
her
for
brain
beginner
stem.
readers, though, and I think that just with practice and over time, you learn to just go with the first
You do.
thing because it's
Yeah.
the first thing
You
that
really
pops
do.
out that is usually right on, and then once you just kind of get over the hurdle of overthinking it and you just start speaking, it's almost like you're channeling it at that
Right.
point. And
You are channeling.
You are.
it,
You are.
at that
You are
point.
channeling.
But I would like to definitely say if you ever read cards to anyone or anything, if you feel like you just can't read some for them or you're getting a bad vibe off of somebody,
Right.
sometimes it is okay to say, I'm sorry, I just can't. You know,
Yeah.
I can't
and
read this, Sam.
I can't read this because when you do read cards, you do take that person's energy and you put your energy
Right.
into it and it mixes. I just had a reading before we started today, and it was pretty heavy for me. I was really they were very appreciative, but it was like, for me, it was like, wow, that was a lot. I need to ground myself. I need to eat some food. I make sure you guys eat when you do these cards because it drains you a lot, but
Yeah.
like in a good way. Because one, for me, I see it to where I just made that person's day because I
You're
was
helping.
I was able to help them and
Yeah.
guide them. And another thing, what I always tell people is that when you read cards to somebody, you know, tell them, hey, you know, you can take this as a grain of salt. You can take this how you want, but just remember, when I read these cards, this is what I'm reading to you. Don't, you know, just take them how you will. If you want to do a life decision because of someone who read cards and then it went bad, don't blame the card reader. You know, don't blame the cards. It's just you have to remember to respect the cards and how everything is. and just how the universe, puts everything
Well,
in
and
place.
card readings are not fortune telling.
Exactly.
It's a guide for this is kind of the direction of things, but you have free will. So you can shift that. If things are going in a way you don't want to go, well, then the cards may show you
different paths. Yeah.
Right, and then you have the power to the power is in you.
Have the power.
Yeah.
Manifest that shit.
It was always in you, Dorothy.
Oh dear. Can't let you do that, David. But no, I definitely love doing card readings. I personally have been doing them for the last 17 years now. I'm 32 and I've been doing them since I was 15 years old. And I mean, I really didn't get my first deck until I was like 22, 23 years old. And I've been doing that, and now I get people who want to gift cards to me, and it's awesome. And I love it because I love getting new different cards. And it's funny, I actually will only go through the book maybe 3 or 4 times. After that, I put the book aside, and I'll start reading the cards as I see them. And it's funny because someone will say, well, wait, doesn't that mean this? So it's just like, well, you have to remember, I'm reading them differently than you would.
Right,
so.
And it's in context to your story at the time. So
exactly.
You have to take that into consideration. It's not always what's in the book, it's what's actually happening in the Corrin's life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also I want to say something just really quickly on if you're getting a reading done from another person. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but I know I've had the experience of like, this doesn't feel like me. Like I've had a reading done where I'm like, this feels like
inaccurate.
It doesn't feel accurate. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the person that's giving you the reading is a bad reader. It just means that either they could be picking up on someone else's energy.
That has happened to me.
Yep.
Right. That does happen. Or the other thing to keep in mind is card readers are human, and so there is going to be a margin of error, and just because somebody might be very psychic or might be very intuitive, it's only going to be that way maybe 80% of the time, and there's going to be 20% of the time, or or more or less depending on the person, where it's not totally right on. So
there's times where I've done readings and I said, hey, if you didn't feel comfortable with that reading, please let's get back together. I would love to do another one. And there's times where I'm like, I personally I'll tell my client, like, I didn't really feel like that was really helpful. If it was, just tell me. If not, let's do another one. And I always tell people, let's come back to this a couple of weeks or something. And, and also when you do readings, make sure that you yourself are in a very clear headspace and that you're prepared. Because if you don't prepare yourself and you just want to do them, it could really mess with your chakras and your everything, your chi. It's insane.
It's important that you have some protection around you because, like he said, you are merging energy. So you want to make sure that at the end of the reading, you have a very clean way of detaching their energy from yourself. So you're not taking any
Hug a tree.
Hug a tree. Cleanse yourself.
Hug a tree. Listen to the green wind.
Jump naked into a river.
This is right. This is right.
Yes.
Well, we need to do that again sometime soon.
Oh,
when our tattoos are healed, we gotta do that.
Yes.
So like a week or so, we can go jump in a river.
So in the meantime, we really hope that some of this information does help you viewers out there regarding about oracle or tarot cards and such like that. If you feel like you want to comment anything or something like that, just message us. We'll
Shoot
be
us a message.
Yeah.
And also, we both do
We're on
readings,
all the social media.
So,
We do.
They do
if
some
you
readings.
Want readings.
Yes.
Quite good.
And we have
tip your tarot readers.
Tip your readers. Yes.
It helps.
Tip your readers.
There's a lot of energy that goes into it. And
Hey.
I personally don't do it for money, but it does help.
I do it for money.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Pay me!
No, I
free
don't
these
do it.
days.
I don't do it for money.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it for money.
I'm just happy I'm able to help
There's
somebody.
power in that exchange.
They're very good at their craft,
Right.
and you don't ask someone good at their craft to do their craft for free.
Yeah, it's like paying the ferryman to get across, a lake. Then you pay the ferryman. There you go.
Yeah, you don't pay, he might drop you in the lake.
Yeah. Flip the
throw
boat
you
over
right
and be
out
like,
there.
see ya. Anyways, guys, we really hope this little piece really helped you guys out there. And if you have any questions, just comment below and such, or just message Kaiju Labs Media through the YouTube channel or on Facebook.
We're very Googleable.
Page. Or Google.
We're very social mediable.
Oh, we are everywhere.
Find us.
But in the meantime, stay tuned because we're gonna take a tour through my garden.
Woo! Garden!
Yay! Garden time. It's gonna be
He's working hard on it.
you're gonna meet all the families. There's one family who's in charge of everybody, and there's another family just moved in, and I call them the Screamers. and they're going against
He's talking
the
about
flowers.
just the plants in his garden, not like...
Yes.
He's thinking there's like
I
a
have a
neighbor
whole
called the Screamers.
I have a whole storyline
Mr.
of
and
just
Mrs.
plants.
Screamer?
It's fun. Yeah, they're the Screamers. I don't know what the flower's called, but I just call them Screamers.
Well, I will figure
And-
that out next time I'm there.
Yes.
I'm loving the Screamers though. I feel like they are.
But yeah, stay
Yeah.
tuned for the tour through Cara Cinctor, my garden. Oh, hey everyone! Hi! Oh dear, sorry. Hey everyone, welcome to my garden, Cara Cinctor. This is my little sanctuary, so come on in. Hey everybody, welcome to my sanctuary. This is my little courtyard where I live here in Round Rock, Texas. I moved here back in April and basically started this little fun gardening project to keep my mind occupied during this whole pandemic and such. And you'll see my little guide, Sir Donatello. He's my familiar if there ever is one, which he is. So yeah, let's take a moment and see what I got. So you can see that I have one of my signs out here. It says good fortune be with you always, and in regards to that, that's where I do a lot of my tarot readings and such. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, I've been doing a lot more virtual readings. So if you're ever interested, message us. Zoe Sol is amazing with her fairy work. But you can check out my little rosemary, which I surrounded with a lot of my quartz I've blessed and everything. And I've been lately having a little gnome invasion, so I hired some dinosaur patrol to come on in and take care of these guys. Ever since the gnomes kind of moved in, you can see that there's been quite a few quartz crystals.
We are still each of us particles of light falling down from the heavens.
This is one of my prized possessions right here. This is an oak tree that was gifted to me by one of my dear friends, and one day it will be potted in a bigger pot and then eventually will be planted into the ground.
And treasure it all, or become it too. In the seed of love, whatever the weather is. In the seed of light, wherever.
So here in my little garden is actually the spot where I like to just kind of sit down throughout the day, morning, night, and just be surrounded by sage, jasmine. My new tomatoes are coming and everything, and overall I don't know, it's just something about nature as a green witch is what I really do appreciate. You can see that I've actually, every single plant that I put in, I always put some kind of flowers with them, so there's a variety of different kind of flowers I have. And in the next couple of weeks they'll start blooming more often, but we got these little guys down here. And yeah, so this is so far, this is the very first one that went into my garden here. This is my jasmine, which has been taking over. And I kind of like to do is take it around and start weaving it. Doesn't want to do that right now. Start weaving it through the fence. And hi, Donnie. Hi, you, Bubba. So yeah. I actually just recently harvested some of my eggplants, so unfortunately I can't see those right now. And what I really like to do is just kind of grow things and see where it goes. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you have to space out your plants and such, but I'm like, I don't want to. I just kind of want it to be all together and wild and free and see what happens. This plant right here is what we call a firecracker. You can only see a few of the little petals here. Now what happens is that they all grow, and then when they're ready, they're like seed pods, so they all kind of disperse off and pop off. And so this one right here is just now starting to regrow this seed pods. And these guys are probably my little fun project. These are my little baby tomatoes, and then this is what they'll be eventually. So I think I have a little fun thing I want to show you guys, so let's check it out. What I really like to do is grow some vegetables. So you can see that I just recently got some onions. I'm very happy and pleased with it. They've come through. Over here we have carrots, we have some oregano. I was trying to grow some cilantro, but unfortunately there's only this little guy right here. So I got some bell peppers. There's some pumpkins in the corner. I'm also starting to grow some garlic, so that's always fun to do. But also one of my really nice ones is my peppers. So you can see this little guy right here. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not that great, but hey, you know, they come and go, and you just choose them and get them as best you can. Oh, look, we have a new one right here. So there we go. Okay, so if you guys follow me, I'll kind of show you what I got going on today. So today I am working on a pan oil, henceforth what pans out. He's actually my deity. He is someone who I definitely follow, especially the greenwood and everything. I would definitely say that my other two would probably be Hearn and Freya. So I have like a little bit of mixture, but Pan is my top guy. So today we can see that I'm actually working on a pan oil, which is the only missing ingredient I don't have right now is some rosemary. But luckily, we got some rosemary over here. So let's take a look. So this rosemary is just doing really well. I just got it planted a couple of weeks ago. A few of these stems are actually pretty new. I've actually blessed every single one of these corks in all directions, so north, east, south, and west, which represents, you know, earth, wind, water, and fire. And I just like to, basically, when you look at the garden here, you really do see that there's quite a bit that can grow through. Hi! You've been in the water? Yes, you have. Let's take a little bit here. Just gonna say thank you very much for your sacrifice and the gift giving it gives us. So there we go. So a lot of people they call this the witch language or otherwise. I mean, this is what it is. This is one of my grimoires. I actually have several of them. This is the biggest one right here, to where this is the part where there's languages in here. And it's kind of funny because I've studied Celestial Draconic. I know it's silly because in Draconic there's, it's mostly like you see in Dungeons and Dragons, but with the way languages are nowadays, it's just kind of cool to see, and you make your own little techniques with everything. But with the Lich language here is that I have actually put on this is a pan oil that we're making. So let's go ahead and take a look. So what I really like to do is, take, in my craft as a green witch, I know there's usually a lot of, greenery and like plants and everything, but I also understand that, when plants grow, eventually they do die. And when they do die, people just kind of, take the sticks, take them to the trash can, or get rid of the petals or otherwise. I personally like to take the pieces of the deceased plant and honor them because they went through a whole entire story of everything. So I like to put that into my craft and reuse that. So right now this is one of my sage leaves that are still kind of drying out, but we'll go ahead and take this little piece right here. We're going to put it all right there. So we're only going to take half of it. We're going to let the rest of it dry out as time goes on. These are here. These are actually called funeral flowers. They were from one of my really good friends. Passed away a while ago, so I kind of like to put those in. It's just kind of on, basically when you look at this, from my craft as Green Witch, I kind of like to honor the dead because, they serve a purpose and a memory still in regards to everything. Let's see. Oh. And this is from one of my really good friends, Anna. Thank you so much for this mug and the tea, by the way. And back in the studio, don't tell Zoe, but I took some of her tea leaves. So this right here is a licorice root. Licorice root is just amazingly delicious and really good for your teeth and such. So I like to kind of, chew it. Well, I also like to use it to stir things a lot. So let's kind of see. Where's that rosemary? Here's that rosemary, because we are making that oil. So when you use herbs, you always want to make sure that you kind of break it up, and so you can get all the vital parts within the leaves. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, right here. And we're actually going to add we're going to add some water real quick. So this is my gourd I like to use. And not too much, but yeah, it's okay. So like I said, I'm making a pan oil. So for me, pan oil is like a very good blessing and such like that, to where, it's a bit of the mischievous side, a little bit sexual. But for me, pan oil, because he's my main deity, I like to remake this usually about once a month, and I'll go around and kind of bless the border of my courtyard inside my house and such. So I got this from Akasha's Treasures, and Akasha Treasures is a place called in Killeen, Texas. It's a wonderful woman who just has run a little witchy business out of her home. So if you ever get a chance, look up Akasha Treasures and support your local witches. Let's go ahead and just add a few drops. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And because of who and what I am, I like to represent the Fae realm. So in my craft, there's 7 courts of the Fae and everything. I represent the Shadow realm. So because I like to, I find things that are, that die and such, that I find the fascination in all of, when things are deceased and such. So I like to kind of bless my own little thing, put my own little textures and, skill into this. So the shadow oil is definitely something I always recommend. 2, 3, 4. There we go. And just for a little bit of a kick, we're going to use some Hexbreaker oil, because, witches sometimes have to be bitches, but it's okay, because they'll see the end of Karma's sword. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like to use the Hexbreaker oil because, it's just how people are. I wish we were never like that, but it is what it is. Some people just want to see other people not succeed and otherwise. So I always like to make sure that, and recommend that if you are starting to practice and such, make sure you do put warders up, make sure you do put wards up, because unfortunately there are people like that and that do want to do self-harm to you. So in regards to that, I like to make sure that I get all of that. Before we go ahead and end this little thing right here, let's go ahead and add some flower petals. Kind of represent the spring of the Fae. And this is actually from Daly's garden. This piece right here is this is oregano. Just a dried oregano, just kind of spice things up a little bit. And one of the main little flower petals right here, because that's just really beautiful. There we go. You can see how pretty this is. So we'll go ahead, and this is one of my ceremonial daggers that I've been gifted back in 2010, so it's about 10 years old. A licorice root. Let's go ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then widdershins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like to start 7 times right, 7 times left, 7 courts of the Fae. So go ahead and put that aside, and go ahead and follow me, and we'll bless the area. So what I do, I actually just take the ceremonial dagger, I go ahead and dip it into the water just for a little bit, and then we take this, put it into the ground, take the land, the sea, and the sky, and we just go ahead and move to the next corner. Now, normally when people are, you're doing your craft and such, you don't really want other witches to know what you're performing. So there is actually a few ingredients that we did not record that's in this purpose right here. So that's for my own sake, my own protection and such, and for my covens. So let's take a look over here.
Having the power to choose.
or become it too. In the seed of love, whatever the weather is. In the
So like I said, there's a few things that, sometimes when you do craft a spell or otherwise, you don't really want other people that may think otherwise towards you, so a little bit, they want to put negative energy to you. So you don't always want to go ahead and show the full craft. If you do out there want to help out people, please do. It really means a lot. You'd be amazed on where baby witches what they can do and what they can learn from us. Just with my protections, I'm a little bit more private about them, but I did share a little bit. In the meantime, as the spell is casted, we go ahead and we thank the land, we do thank the sky, and we do thank the sea, and all the 7 courts of the Fae, and here we are. Beautiful. So thank everyone for coming by to Kara Sanctor. This is my little sanctuary, my place of serenity, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you really want to learn a little bit more about my craft and such like that, please comment below, and I'll be more than happy to get with you. In the meantime, blessed be, and to all you witches out there, stay safe and stay beautiful.
we are particles of light.
Amazing,
Jeffrey. Thank you.
Jeffrey, you're so good.
Your garden's gorgeous.
Your garden
I love it.
is beautiful.
I just
I
started
know
that
you
garden.
put a lot of work into it.
I started that garden 3-4 months ago,
Yeah,
and it's already so flourished. Like people are like, I like it because I wake up and literally there are plants in my yard. Because I tell my friends, I'm like, just drop if you want plants, just drop them off in my yard, and and then you just got a few, and you just got a few.
Yeah, we're all gardening.
It's fun.
It's the quarantine hobby.
It is. It is. And actually, I hate that this pandemic is going on. All of us do, but I actually do like that. A lot of people are starting to get more into gardening and get artistic with it and everything. So I'm weaving all my plants through my fence. I love it. So the streamers though, they're my favorite.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're going to end with our fairy forecast for the week, and next week we will be discussing how we utilize the phases of the moon for rituals.
Yes, that's gonna get a little spooky.
Moon phases.
You know what I think we should do? I think we should do like a little ritual next week's episode.
We could do a little ritual.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
What's the phase of the moon?
We'll look
Next week.
We'll look it up.
Next week, I don't think it's phasing next week.
it's we just finished the full moon.
Yeah, full moon's
We did.
beginning of the month.
Yeah, we just did a
New
while
moon's
ago.
on
Talking to
22nd.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, hi, we're still here.
Yeah, sorry. Fairies, what? Anyways, everyone, stay tuned for our fairy forecast, and
We'll see you next week.
Moon phases. Bye!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week's fairy
And non-binary pals!
and non-binary pals. This week's fairy oracle is brought to you by the Heart of Fairy Oracle deck.
By Brian Froud.
Brian Froud.
And the first card, ooh, look at this.
Pan.
It is Pan, if that's not Jeffrey. So,
Well, he is my deity, so yeah. What does that card represent?
oh my gosh, go out and pursue
my
your
gosh.
adventure, and that you're totally protected and safe, and he's leaping off through blind faith off of that tree, and he's totally safe and protected, and just go for it again. That's kind of like the theme of last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, just go for
Yeah.
it.
Go
whatever.
for it. it.
Go
Wow.
for it, but safely.
So I pulled the Lady of Leprechauns. I know, I've actually never seen that card. It's quite beautiful. So to me, as I'm looking at this card, I noticed that she's holding a lot of items. She has a lot going on. She's surrounded by a lot of different beings. And I just think that for this, you've got a lot going on. Lots going on this week. You're maybe holding a lot of different cups, a lot of different hobbies, a lot of different responsibilities that you need to deal with. And you may have a lot of different voices in your ear as well, and just stay focused on what you feel is right for you.
Beautiful. Alrighty.
Dun,
And
dun.
mine, Queen of the Owls. Queen of the Owls basically is telling you that it's time to listen to your intuition more deeply, and that little inner voice that has been telling you things that maybe you've been doubting, it's really time to stop doubting, to listen, because it has really deep wisdom for you. The Queen of the Owls also can see in the dark, and she's very comfortable in the dark because she is the light that's in the dark. So it's also saying, don't be afraid of the dark, don't be afraid of going in the shadow, because that's where your deep wisdom comes from.
Ooh, interesting. I like that. Prick up your ears. Wow.
Perfect.
This one right here is telling you to be a little bit more, basically just explaining listen to yourself, listen to your internal instincts, but also pay a little bit more mind to each other, around your friends and so forth. And it's a lot of communication is where it's coming in play. This one right here is showing a lot of curiosity. So if you're curious about something, don't be scared to ask questions. And I kind of want to do a little something different this week, and I want to draw one more card.
Okay,
We're just going to name this card, and audience, this card is just for you, so interpret how you want it.
Ooh.
Who wants to draw? Who wants to draw? Who wants to draw? Who wants to draw a card?
Go
Who wants
for
to
it,
draw? Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Oh.
Oh, the Lord of the Forest. So guys, out there, just look at these cards, and there you go. That's
Your weekly fairy forecast.
with ShadowCast Coven.
Write in the
ATX.
comment below what the Lord of the Forest means to
for you.
Yes. And in the meantime, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week when we talk about rituals and moon phases.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.